The Yankees are cheating. They are cheating away baseball games from the Toronto Blue Jays. But the bottom line is that the Blue Jays have not showed up in the first two games of this series. So we'll break down what we've seen in the first two games, as well as much more in this episode of Jays Digest. What's up, Jays fans? I'm your host, Peter Vryonis, alongside host Nick Gosse. Now, there's been a lot of controversy in the past 2 days about the Yankees cheating with sticky stuff, with stealing signs in the dugout. Whatever it may be, the bottom line is that the Blue Jays have not shown up in these first two games. The Yankees have gotten whatever they've wanted, and they have absolutely manhandled the Jays. So what's been the real problem? We'll try to break it down on this episode, but we want to thank you for all the support that we've gotten. I'm going to the game tonight. Hopefully it's a different story. But man, it has not been pretty in these first 2 days, Nick.
Yeah, you've been very unlucky for the Blue Jays, so hopefully you can turn that around tonight. But make sure to hit the subscribe button. We're less than 45 subs away from 7,000. Your support's been great, and let's just get right into it. And like you said, the Yankees are cheating. Now, coming into yesterday's game, there was a lot of beef between the managers, which we'll touch on next. And of course, the Aaron Judge, the eye situation where he was looking at that. But we're going to touch on that, obviously, throughout the video. But yesterday, Domingo Germán was caught cheating. He's going to be suspended. And Peter, what are your thoughts on that? I'll play the clip now. And he got kicked out of the game early after the third inning. And this was about the most obvious form of cheating we've seen out of a pitcher. You can see it right there. Whether that's, pine tar, whatever it is, the umpire said after the game that it was the most sticky, shiny substance he's ever seen. And this is the same guy who got a warning last time by the same umpiring crew. But Germán tried to cheat the Blue Jays yesterday, and it's not good for baseball whatsoever. And I'm sure a lot of Yankees fans aren't happy about it either.
Well, the first indication is that it's Domingo Germán, and he's not very good, and he threw 3 perfect innings. So that's maybe the first clue that we got. And on the front of his pants there, it does look like it's chewing tobacco, if I'm being totally honest with you. But on the back over there,
Yep.
that does look like a sticky substance. So I'm going to trust the umpire's judgment here and say that maybe his hand was very sticky, and they did the right thing. They threw him out of the game. But his spin rate was the same that it's been all season long. Maybe he's just been cheating all year long, and they haven't caught him up until this point. Now, he's got a 10-game suspension now. Same thing as Max Scherzer got when he got caught with the sticky stuff. And there was not much contestation from him. He basically accepted it and got thrown out of the game the third inning. But the bottom line is, my problem is that the Blue Jays have not shown up, and they're making all these excuses. They are blaming the Yankees for cheating, but you can't even scratch a few runs together. And now you're facing Garrett Cole today, so it doesn't get any easier for Toronto, and they have just not showed up in these first two games. They're focusing on the wrong things. Yes, the Yankees have had some shady business, but man, this is not a good look for either team here.
Yeah, I completely agree. And even early in yesterday's game, you had Pete Walker and John Schneider talking with the against third base coach, which we'll discuss next chapter. But like you said, yeah, the Jays have played horrible, and Germán, he was out in the third inning. We had the whole game to win. We obviously had a little bit of a run there to tie up the game, but the Jays have been playing awful, and it's not because the Yankees are stealing signs or their first base coach is further to the dugout than he should be. It's because the Jays just aren't playing well. The pitchers haven't been. I mean, Gosman's been great, but Manoah's obviously poor, and the offense is just ice cold. And Vladdy's also now hurt. It's feels like the roof's falling down a little bit in Jays land, but I don't know. It's despite the Yankees cheating, it's been a horrible series for the Blue Jays.
It has been a bad stretch so far, and I should have came on the weekend, if I'm being totally honest with you, because the Jays went out and got the sweep against the Braves. But I truly don't believe that Aaron Judge is cheating. When you're throwing a guy who hit 62 home runs last season, meatballs down the middle of the plate, and yeah, I know he's glancing over to the dugout. It is what it is. But if you're throwing him an 84-mile-an-hour slider over the middle of the plate like Jay Jackson did, if you're throwing a splitter that leaks over the middle of the plate like Eric Swanson did last night, he's going to punish you. And he hit that ball almost 500 feet. It was like 475 feet, and he's been absolutely on a tear ever since he got off the injured list. I'm not going to accuse Aaron Judge of cheating. I just think he's that much better than everyone else, and everyone's trying to find excuses as to why he's better. And I'm not going to pull that card on Aaron Judge. He's just very good. You got to pitch better to him. It's not easy. Someone who's 6'7", who absolutely pounds the baseball when it's in the zone, but you got to find a way to be better and stop giving him good pitches to hit.
Yeah, it was a horrible pitch, and not only that, I think Kirk may have been tipping his signs, or Jay Jackson was tipping his signs, but that's fair game. That's definitely not cheating at all. And if Judge is getting that relayed to him. That's fine. I don't even know if that was even the case. But regardless, the cheating that we're talking about was not Aaron Judge. It was Domingo Germán. Just to make that very, very clear. Judge is, the best hitter on the planet, and Jay Jackson left a horrible curveball there. But let's go on to the next topic, which is the coaching staffs were beefing. And Peter, you were at the game yesterday, and it was pretty hilarious. A lot of hilarious things went down in this game yesterday, but it was weird. Early, Pete Walker was yelling at Luis Rojas at the third base to stay in his little box. And then later in the game, Aaron Boone was yelling at our third base coach, Luis Rivera, which I'll pop up now. Peter, what are your thoughts on just everything between the coaching staff? I think the Jays need to focus on baseball and stop worrying about this other stuff.
Yeah, I think so too. You're bang on, Nick. They're focusing on the wrong things, and I like the Jays coaching staff. I think they've done a fine job so far this season. Maybe that's against popular opinion, but they got to play baseball. That's what it comes down to. And you just swept arguably the best team in all of baseball in the Atlanta Braves, and now against a division rival, you've been non-existent. I mean, the Jays have shown flashes. They've had a couple of good innings in the first two games, but only two. Two good innings. That's not good enough to get it done against the Yankees, who now have a fairly healthy lineup and have everyone pretty much back to where they need to be. So you got to step it up today. It's tough against Garrett Cole, but the Jays somehow find a way to scratch runs against him, and they can't do it against Domingo Germán or Johnny Brito for whatever reason. But you got to step it up today. Focus on the game. Enough of this extracurricular stuff, because at the end of the day, it does not matter. Just go out there, play baseball, execute your pitches, move runners over, play smart fundamental baseball, and leave all that other stuff behind.
Yeah, I agree. And you can see here that Aaron Boone was calling John Schneider hypocritical and things like that. And John Schneider also had some choice words, which I'll let you go on Twitter and search up. But he called someone a mean name. But regardless of that, yeah, I agree. They need to focus on baseball, because at the end of the day, we're not going to win games by arguing with the other manager. I know a lot of Jays fans hate the Yankees. It's a big rivalry, but they're beating us right now, and I'd rather just win than have this weird, beef that's going on between our two teams. We can have beef and win. Just this other extracurricular stuff is weird, and I'm curious to see how it boils over tonight.
I'm just going to touch on this before we go on to the next topic here. This is what the Yankees want. They want to get in your head, and they know that they're a bit of an undermanned lineup. Their offense is not the best in the league. When Aaron Judge is swinging it the way he's swinging it, I mean, he gives you a chance every time you're out there on that field. But if he's not going right, then it's not really easy sledding for the Yankees. But this is what they want. They want to get in your head. They want to get you distracted. And like you said, you've alluded to many times, the Jays are focusing on the wrong things here.
Yeah, and they need to start focusing on baseball, because each game we lose against our division rivals, one step closer to being in fourth place behind the Yankees. But we'll leave that as is. Let us know what your thoughts are on that as we quickly wrap up here with a Vlad injury update. And this wasn't good. He was trying to field a bunt. He kind of jumped a little bit weird. You can find the clip online, but he's going for an MRI today. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. to undergo MRI for right knee discomfort, and we're hoping that this is, the MRI comes off clean. No Tommy John or anything, not Tommy John, but no ACL injuries or anything like that. I don't know if you have a quick thought on this. The Jays can't really afford to lose Vladdy right now for any extended period of time, but if they do, I would like to see maybe Spencer Horwitz come up there and play some first base.
Yeah, that would probably have to be one of your options. I mean, someone's going to have to come up and replace him
Biggio
on the 26-man roster. It's not going to be Biggio, who's playing every day at first base. I mean, you would hope not, because that's a disaster waiting to happen. Although Biggio did give one a ride last night, but whatever. I digress. I don't want him at first base every day. But yeah, let's hope it's nothing serious. Vladdy has been durable his entire career. Played 160 games last season, 161 the year before, and then in the COVID shortened season, he played all 60 games. So he's not someone that misses games, and he's already missed 2 this year with that injury that he had with his wrist, and that's been a recurring thing for him. So he came down a little bit gimpy after fielding that bunt, and hopefully it's nothing too serious. Hopefully it's another just 1 or 2 day absence, but yeah, they can't afford to have him miss an extended period of time, because that's also a disaster waiting to happen, considering the way that the lineup has been performing. And no disrespect to Kevin Kiermaier, but he's got the second highest OPS on the team right now. And for a team with World Series aspirations, your 9-hitter being your second best guy, It's just not going to get it done.
Yeah, and we expect him to have some sort of regression. He has like a 900 OPS now, which obviously he's having a career year, but
Yeah.
at some point that'll come down. And Matt Chapman's also having a quietly bad May. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see. Let us know in the comments what your thoughts are on that. It didn't look too bad initially, but you never really know with these type of injuries. But that'll wrap it up. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks.